Just ride around and see what we find, they say. Yep, I really should have had more thrust to that, shouldn't I? I would not like this plan. A horse is noisy, like you can hear it from a great distance, the clop clop and all that. And like it's just, we're so in the open. Like I feel like two people in the streets kind of hugging the left or right side of the street, like kind of reducing visibility, like you can sneak by unseen. It's a big city. It's a very big city with limited line of sight, and they can't possibly be covering everything, and like small people quietly moving could probably get by unseen, but a horse? I feel like...
So, where are we?
I feel like the horse can backfire significantly. Could I have not found this map?
We're here. Ah, nice.
Whoa!
We'll mark it up as we go.
The fuck Fedra gate is marked. What? Okay, so we're in downtown Seattle, like we saw. The fuck Fedra gate is weirdly marked. I feel like they should have drawn a... it's just my issue, I guess, but I like... Why didn't they draw a gate? They just pointed kind of at the street where the fuck Fedra gate is, instead of drawing the actual gate. I just think of, like... My top reference here would be Silent Hill. For marking up a map as we go and all that. And I'm like, what's up with that marking? That's not great. But yeah, that's WLF. That's where the, that's what we saw on the horizon. And now we're trying to figure out how to open the gate, although... I feel like it'd be just as likely to be able to just get around the gate, honestly. Instead of finding gasoline. This place is huge.
What the hell happened out here? I'm guessing the military bombed the shit out of this place. Why would they do that? Well, they would sometimes destroy parts of the city that were lost to the infected. Or to rebels. That seems like overkill. Well, it usually worked.
On the infected or the rebels?
Both. Shit. Believe me, you're lucky you didn't grow up in a QZ.
I'm starting to get that impression.
What would have happened if I'd stayed? I'd probably just become one more asshole soldier.
No way. I can't see you taking orders from anybody.
Yeah, good point.
I gotta say, I was expecting the Seattle QZ to be a lot more occupied.
Yeah, maybe they're all hiding at the Saravina.
How many WLF you think there are anyway?
Well, at least 8.
If we're lucky, that'll be it.
We'll be fine. We should stay alert, stock up while we can.
I heard another rumor.
Hey.
What is it?
Says there are supplies at some bank.
Might be worth checking out.
Colin, I heard another rumor that the Westlake Bank has never been searched. If that's true, it'd be filled with more pre-outbreak supplies. I say we go for it. If there are enough weapons in there, I know some guys who could trade for some safe passage out of this hellhole. Come on, man, I don't have the balls to go in there by myself. Aaron. Hello. This is a neat detail. Hold view. It's a slightly weird input, but okay. I know, it shows exactly where I am. This is neat. I wonder if this... It seems like this game might be like unexpectedly open-worldy.
Ellie, I think Shimmer's getting sick.
What? How can you tell?
She sounds a little hoarse.
How dare you?
Boy.
Come on, that was a good one.
Shimmer seems like a perfectly adequate to large horse. An adequate horse? I know I have a goal of sorts, but I'm kind of poking around. When I say open world, I don't mean like proper open world necessarily. I doubt this game's non-linear. Yeah, on like a grand structure sort of way. But it might have a series of hubs where you can kind of poke around more and more. Which was kind of true in the last game, but on a much smaller scale. You could keep moving forward, or you could like carefully explore each house. But this one, the side stuff seems even more side than ever before. And like, I don't think this kind of open area ever existed in the first game. Could be the difference between PS3 and PS4. Could also be the difference between, because you gotta remember, as much of it as it felt like a modern game, it feels at home on the PS4, but the Last of Us came out on PS3. That's just probably. Question mark? Okay. Question mark. What does that mean? Is there something here? Is the back of this thing open or openable? Can I go up there or something? Hello. Please don't be full of infected.
Whoa. This guy was an officer.
Traveling in a ration truck?
Trying to hide, maybe?
Unsuccessfully.
Yeah, it sure looks that way.
We could have been trying to sneak out or in. Everything is in place. We will be waiting. Once we intercept the convoy and take the Fedra officers captive, you can abandon your post and join us. I know you've taken numerous risks and lived in fear of being discovered. Your loyalty to our cause is appreciated. Isaac. So he was WLF. Or defecting to WLF. And that didn't work out for him. There's the MREs, which I accidentally called the WLF earlier. Which is our military something rations. Whatever the words are. I don't know what the words are, but they're military rations. I could spend a lot of time poking around these places. So she crosses them out. New marks are flashing, so you know which ones are new. Right, this is an outdated map. So this is where all the freeways were. The overpasses. There's little hints here and there. But that's why there's such an open area, and now it's just a river. They bombed this whole area out, and now it's just these. A little weird that they apparently had to bomb this area out because it was lost to the infected. The area with all the overpasses? Seems like this is just a part of Seattle that was convenient to bomb out to have a really cool looking location, more so than because the story completely made sense for why it would be so thoroughly lost to rebels and infected. Yep, you can't go there. There aren't even buildings here. An open field full of infected feels like one of the easiest places to clear without using all the bombs. Or maybe the bombs were justified because the lack of buildings, it would reduce the collateral damage significantly if they did have to bomb this area and there just wasn't any actual... there's no buildings and there's not that much risk of civilian life being lost. I'm giving the military some element of the benefit of the doubt. Just because the stories you hear about
I think I
them...
found the courthouse.
How can you tell?
See that sign up there? On the building that says courthouse?
Oh, well, nice work, detective.
You did it.
Mark this place on the map.
That's where the gas is supposed to be, so let's avoid going inside there. Until I'm out of other things I want to do. Oop. I kind of figure, like, I'm not necessarily going to, like, give a pass to or agree with the choices that were made by the military, but I also think that the stories we hear about them are probably not entirely fair because of the sheer desperate situation that they were trying to contain and deal with, because it was the outbreak that ended the world. It was clearly a big deal. Should probably avoid going this way for now. I mean, it's supposed to be in the courthouse, right? Let's maybe start on the other side of town and work my way up, though. It's a beautiful area. There's a lot of games that feel like they're afraid that their players are going to get bored. And so they have to, like, jam in periodic action all the time. Like, I've talked before about games where they had a good thing going, but it felt like they were, like, insecure about the idea of having a moment of quiet, so they would just kind of, like, have random encounters or completely disposable fights, just kind of constantly come in to interrupt what was currently happening. But they usually destroyed the flow of the narrative or the tone of the scene. Saw that arrow and I got curious.
Nope, locked.
Always
Needs key. Can't we just kick doors down? Far Cry 5 was probably one of the biggest defenders I've ever seen, where basically if you just exist in its world for about 5 seconds, enemies will just spawn around you and attack you. The entire time I played through the campaign, you're just never not fighting. There's no, like, you never get to, like, slowly poke around and explore and check things out, because, like, enemies are just fucking rocketing at you from every direction at every moment. It's like, there's no, I never felt high and low points. I didn't feel like the pacing and tension was changing from moment to moment. So, like, none of the big moments really hit as hard as they probably should have, because I was always in a high intensity mode the entire playthrough. Gavin. Derek got into some business with a broken window last week. He would have lost his damn leg if we hadn't rushed him back to Saravina. I went ahead and stashed some supplies at a couple sites downtown for any future emergencies. Broken legs, infected, Derek fuck-ups, whatever. Since you're going that way anyway, can you resupply the stash at the West 2 checkpoint? Gate hasn't worked for years, but the combination to the old is the old code for West 2. Allison. We probably have that code. There we go. I like that you can actually see the marks on the map when she's holding it like that, too. Yes. We're gonna be supplied. Here we go. Kinda want Bird to play this game now. I need to tell him that it takes place in Seattle, or at least this part does. I don't know if how much of the game this is. It might be the whole game because we're on a revenge mission against people that are here. Is there a call horse button? Not necessarily. I think he kind of follows you. I was just worried. I was questioning whether I needed to be worried about getting too much distance. Dawn of the Wolf. There's just constant... Oh! I was gonna comment how there's so much wolf stuff in this game. Because there's the porn, and then there's this, and then there's the, wolf is who I'm after. WLF. Like, it's basically just that, like, they even crossed out the O there. That might have been, maybe that's supposed to be a tail. Something, I don't know. It's like a Twilight sort of parody thing. Maybe. It is part 2, which definitely highlights it a little bit. But no, Dawn of the Wolf. That means that Dong of the Wolf was a parody of this exact, of this movie. So that's, like, we always have these games that have these, like, fake movie posters and things in them.
Hey, Valiant Music Shop.
Should we check for supplies?
But now I got this next level thing where now we have the porn parody of the fake thing that's in the story.
Man, imagine this place when everything was intact. You could just goof off, play some instruments.
I bet we could scrounge enough stuff to start a band.
You don't know how to play anything.
I mean, I could definitely figure it out.
I believe in you. These games definitely get some good mileage out of just environment design. Just these extensively ruined locations. Are those comic books? No. They look like magazines. I don't know, what music related stuff would have that much, like, loose paper? Lots of cables here. Yep. For a second there, I was looking to see if I could find the exact cable that's currently plugged into the microphone that I'm talking to you with, but maybe not. Oop, that's not what I'm going for. There we go. No, because these are like amp cables. Don't. No.
Oh, wow, that was an interesting beat.
Excuse me. I am a natural. Admit it.
I love you.
Whatever.
I love you? Question
We're
mark.
starting a band.
How about you be my groupie?
You're what?
Well, okay. Bands apparently had these hardcore fans that would just follow them around.
Isn't that what I'm already doing?
I guess so.
She's my groupie. I was just like, no, don't. Because we just don't know if this place is clear, so just don't start hitting drums, you lunatic. These people are not engaging in an adequate, zombie etiquette. To trying to have sincere, emotional scenes and stuff. But, risk. I partly thought she was going to go across the country with a guitar strapped to her back. Because Joel admittedly gave her a less convenient keepsake than his daughter did. Like, is she going to be, like, fighting zombies with a fucking acoustic guitar on her back? It's a neat visual, but seems like a pain. But that's currently staying at home.
What was that?
Nothing.
Well, nothing sure sounds nice.
Remember that night by the bonfire?
Yeah.
Talking away.
Ha.
I don't know what I'm to say. I'll say it anyway. Today's another day to find you shying away. I'll be coming for you, okay? Take on me. Take me on. I'll be gone in a day or two. Needless to say, I'm odds and ends, but I'll be stumbling away, slowly learning that life is okay. Say after me, it's no better to be safe than sorry. Take on me. Take me on. I'll be gone in a day or two. In a day or two. You should have kissed me then. I wanted to.
Me too.
All right. We should keep moving.
Yeah.
It's just so goddamn sweet. And this is just hey, noise foam. This is all just confidently hidden away in an obscure part of the map you could just go right by and never walk into. It was beautiful too, the rendition. It's funny how instantly recognizable that song
I got a
is.
bunch of records here. The Sleek Habit.
The Sick Habit.
Close enough.
Okay. We only listened to it like 100 times together.
I was only listening to it because I thought you were cute.
The Slick Habit. Yeah, all the instrumentation's out the window, and it's just a moment of just a few words, and I'm instantly like, take on me. Something struck me there, and I was like, it kind of occurred to me, like, I'm like, this is so unusual. Can I just punch it? That's probably actually a bad idea. She used her knife. Yeah, that's actually a good detail. She used the butt of her knife to bust the window. Midway through that scene, they're just kind of like slowly, confidently embracing the song. Not playing like a 100% like 4-minute rendition or anything, but like they're going through and doing like the verses and everything, and they're just sharing these long looks between the characters, and I'm like, oh, this is different for several reasons. It's like, oftentimes AAA stuff is like afraid to have those kinds of... I remember Clover 4. Yeah, that was the Celtic punk band that was kind of showing up throughout the previous game and stuff. Yeah, because they would have the same posters. Eames Chuchin, the complete. Look at this tiny drummer. He looks like he's 12. Oop, oh, that was a weird jump. That is Pearl Jam. I'm not a alright. I'm like, did I see that right? There's just this moment of sincerity, but also like confidently just embracing this slow,
I don't think there's anything else in here.
meaningful scene of character development and just kind of letting these people spend time together. Which is like a level of slowness that the games are often afraid to have. But then there's the next layer. It's like you start, you're looking at the meaningful look and everything, and you're like, oh, we're like slowly developing a romantic relationship between two characters, which is like extra like it's not fully taboo. It's more like against like common. I got a freaking holster. I've got some equipment here, huh? Oh, you have to hold it down and go. Oh, that's weird. That's a weird piece of controls. Okay. I would rather just hit right on the D-pad twice. That would, yeah, that seems like it'd be a better system. Press right to get to that weapon. Press it again to change weapons if there's more weapons in that choice. This is strange. But we're slowly developing a romantic relationship between characters in like an action survival horror game. Usually, AAA games don't respect their audience enough to think that they would pay attention.
Damn, that's pretty good.
And put up with this. This is a great drawing. Another day in paradise. There's a lot of downtime for people in this universe. There's a lot of being on watch. And trying to be alert. And trying to stay awake. And trying to stay alive. So you get in these kinds of posts, you're going to become an artist. Or you're going to lose your mind. Then you get into like there's like the romantic development, but then you realize not only that, but it's like you have a female protagonist and it's a gay romance. And I'm like,
Jotting this down.
like this, has this happened before? It's just interesting to think like, I'm like, has this still been off limits? I can't think of examples. I play indie games all the time, so like I almost have to like remind myself this is new and different because indie games don't give a fuck.
I haven't seen one of these in a while.
Look at this thing. What is... Oh, it's the scanner things. Shit, from that intro. Where they're scanning everyone at the back of the neck and then they would execute them on the spot, which was a brutal scene. It's like your introduction to the whole game. Place the tip of the device against the exposed skin. Push the device firmly until it clicks. Hold in place for 3 seconds. Observe reading on central display. These things are brutal. Well, they're not brutal. What comes with them is brutal, mostly. But yeah, I almost have to remind myself of like where the rest of gaming is at a lot of the time. Because when you play indie stuff, like, there's no holds barred. People will just casually go straight for any kind of representation they want, because no one's stopping them. But for the rest of gaming, they're all like, but what about marketability and like other irritating ideas? So you can't make the pistol stronger. But you can make both of these stronger. I might want to save up until I have enough. Yeah, we're almost there. 40% damage, 25% accuracy? Fuck yes. I'll deal with my reloading and stuff if I have to. I try to get through fights in a way where I don't necessarily have to deal with that anyway. I try to avoid having to fire that many shots in general, but I want my ammo to last as long as possible. So the sooner I get upgrades to my ammo, I mean my damage, the longer my ammo's gonna last. Yeah, I kind of find that I'm drawn to The Last of Us for reasons similar to why I'm pushed away from a lot of modern gaming. And credit where credit's due with Sony. This is a first-party game. So Sony's ahead of Disney, who are cowards all the time about everything, because they're so focused on pleasing China and having the most broad appeal possible, which constantly means not allowing many forms of representation, much to the frustration of their own creators that want to create stuff like that, but the people that run the whole thing are like, nope, not doing that. Wow, those like 2 people are wanted a lot. There's a few more on the other ones. Jason and Emma Patterson. For acts of terrorism and sedition. Is that her? I don't think so. I'm not sure I recognize those faces, so I don't think that was them. The hair color is different, but like the faces look totally different too.
Recognize anyone?
No. They're too old.
Right.
The group that came to Jackson would have been kids.
That's correct. Good point. It's the wrong generation. All these forms are all outdated like that. Can I get through here? Is this where I just was? Yeah. This area is huge. But no. Thanks to... I mean, it's not the fucking industry as a whole or anything, but at least in this one example...
That building's got something on top I'd call dome-like.
Kind of ahead of movies. Because the AAA blockbuster equivalent of the movie field... movie field? The blockbuster, which is the equivalent of the AAA game, is a fucking coward all the time. And AAA games aren't necessarily much better, but this is a almost shocking exception. And like they knew they'd come under fire, and they were like instantly. People were mad at this game 2 years ago before any of it was playable. And it's when I see outrage, I'm so confused sometimes. I just gotta remind myself how much people suck, apparently. I'm like, oh, that was neat. There's some cool fight scenes. The visuals look incredible. And like, oh, Ellie's grown up. This seems nice. And then it's all about like, no, I need to be mad for some reason. How dare they? Okay, can you stop telling me there's a hint?
I think we should head down there.
Alright, I will now avoid that location.
Ration distribution center.
In Boston, we'd line up for blocks. And the food sucked.
I'd go crazy.
Some people did. Come on, let's find a way in.
Does it actually show my objective anywhere? Yeah, that one's circled. So I'm sure that's my main objective, right? I'm pretty sure they said I need to go to there to get to the gate. I have too many loose ends at once now. I need to pair some of these off. Das Wort. This tall, laconic presence seems unassuming enough. Bullied and misunderstood early in life due to his inability to speak above the level of a mumble. He was forever changed when ancient cosmic beings bestowed upon him the world. A mystical phrase that when spoken or even muttered will drive everyone in earshot insane. Thankfully, his considerable height often gives him away and allows his potential victims plenty of time to run or plug their ears. Neutral villain. 80 brains a run. Oh yeah, he's distressingly tall. Is he a is there a Lovecraft thing going on there? A tall man in yellow? They might be going for something there. Alright, I'm gonna take a moment between episodes to review my notes, because I need to remind myself which one of these was about the dome, because yep, there's that. Was it just a supply cache?